Well, hiya, honeys. Welcome back to my spooky little corner. For those that don't know me, I am Lady Mylita, and I bid you welcome. Okay, my darklings, I hope you guys enjoyed my last video. Today we're going to have another first review of one of our alter ego palettes. This is the Artemis palette. And if you forgot what the Artemis palette looks like, here she is in all her glory. She's a really good mixture. She's got like a little bit of everything. She's got golds, she's got greens, she's got browns, she's got blues, she's got some reds. She's just like an overall really nice palette. Now this palette is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. And this palette cost me $22 American, which works out to be approximately 29 Canadian. And like the Natasha Denona palette, I forget how much it is, but it's pretty expensive. So if you're interested in seeing that beautiful palette on these gorgeous eyes, stay tuned. And let's dive in. I'm primed and ready to jump into this palette. All the colors are on the back as well, which is nice. So I'm not exactly sure where to start. The shades all look beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I don't see a nice kind of lighter tone to kind of start with. They're all pretty dark. They're all pretty dark. So let's take a nice fluffy brush. This is just one of my quill brushes, but she's a nice fluffy one. And one of the lighter shades here is the shade called Hunt up here in the corner. She looks kind of a yellowy kind of shade though, so we'll see. We're going to put this in the crease and kind of above it. Yeah, she's yellow. That's okay. We can work with this. It's not... She's a very nice yellow shade though. Kind of a nice mustardy yellow. She lays down quite nice. I'm just blending her up a little high above the crease, just because she's kind of the lightest shade. So there's really no light, kind of a neutrally tone to match my skin tone in this palette. But this color is quite nice. It is coming off quite well. She's blending quite nicely. Can't complain about that. Now what? Kind of like that one. All right, so I'm going to take a smaller one. This is an eye crease small elf brush, and I'm going to try the shade Prowl here on the bottom. She looks almost like a mossy kind of green tone. And so I think I might do a halo eye today. So we're just going to put this down here and over here in this corner too. Might have to, I'll probably use a deeper color too, but we'll start with this. And then, yeah, she's definitely like a mossy kind of green tone. Definitely makes me think more like a military green, if that makes sense to you folks. I hope it does. Definitely kind of that military kind of shade. When I was in high school, my best friend, who actually I named Little Lordling after, was in the military. So I used to see this shade a lot. Alright, and then I'm going to kind of go through this right here, kind of combine it. She's not like really picking up on my brush. There we go. These these shades compared to the other ones are taking a little more kind of finessing. Like they're just not coming off like, okay, swatch. Barely see that on my finger. Interesting. I don't know if it's the formula of this or what have you, but I know I was watching another video about this particular palette because I guess the Metropolis palette, the Natasha Denona palette, has almost like a cream to powder formula, so it does take a bit of finessing. And when you look at this palette, you can tell some of them have a funky texture on top. I thought maybe it was just the way they were pressed, but I'm kind of wondering now if it's a different formula. So, something to think of if this is a palette you are interested in. And I'm just going to take my shade, my Hunt shade over top. Try and blend this out a bit. I quite like that green though. I found it a little difficult to work with. But again, I'm kind of wondering if that's that formula. And maybe that's kind of why it's interesting. Because I feel like I'm not getting the saturation of the color that I want. But I don't recall having that problem with the other palette. Maybe a different brush is in order. Maybe if I use a little flat one and maybe pack it on. Let's try that. So this is my Jeffree Star JS10. Maybe we'll try that. Maybe that's what it needs. Oh, well, maybe that's exactly what it needs. Maybe it's the type that you got to pack it on. Are we seeing a bit of a difference with that? I think we are. I think that's what it needs. It needs to be kind of packed on. Interesting. Okay, well, we can work with that. But it's good to know that it's maybe a different formula. And then I'll just take the brush that had it on it. Kind of puff that out. See if that helps. That definitely looks a lot better now, my darklings. The green looks a lot more vibrant, so interesting. Okay, take the yellow again. Hunt. This yellow is called Hunt. Okay, so that's how we got it started. So maybe what I need to do is take like a flat brush and kind of press some of these ones that it's a different finish. So if that's the case, we're just going to use the other side of this brush because I don't mind if it has a bit of that. I'm going to take this forest green called Stealth, and I'm going to see about packing that there. Oh, okay. Just kind of on the inner and outer to darken it. Well, that packed on quite nice, didn't it? I quite like that shade. It's a different, I'm not exactly sure what to say because it's a real different formula. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Okay. It's like I have to pack it on with a packing brush and then I have to take a fluffy to kind of blend it out. It blends really well though once you kind of get it packed on, but that's interesting. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. Not gonna lie. So there's that. That's our start. I quite like the shades. Again, very interesting to work with, and it's gonna take a bit of playing, so we'll have to keep trying it. So let's cut out some lid space for our halo eye. We are going to use our Jeffree Star concealer in the shade C4. Okay, so those creases are cut. It never looks quite right, but it is what it is. I'm kind of wondering if these glitters are like the same kind of feel. I don't think so. I think the glitters are just glitters, but I don't know. There's a few of them in this palette. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but like this blue bow, that green stuff, this Prowl, this Ambush, Thrill, Silent, a couple of these browns. They have a different texture on top, and I don't know. Somebody let me know if you have this palette, and maybe you can explain to me what's going on. I'm assuming it's a different formula. So if it's more of a like a wet formula, because if you look, there's only like the 3 mattes that are kind of dry covered, like what we would expect mattes, and then there's all these shimmers. So find this interesting. I have no idea. None. 0. Okay, so I want to use a couple different of these shimmers, because these shimmers are quite outstanding. They have there's a lot of gold, there's some gold greens, there's some kind of like blue greens, like we got a little bit of everything here. I think I'm going to use the shade Pursuit first on the outers, because it's like a beautiful bluey green. So I'm just going to take one of my flat brushes here. So this is Morphe and Jeffree Star JS11. And as always, we are going to hit it with some setting spray. Today we're using our e.l.f. Steel Night Microfine Setting Mist. I'll have to read about it. Maybe it's somewhere written that it's a different formula, because I'm quite intrigued. I'm not going to lie, but it feels different, and it's kind of hard to work with. So it must be a different formula, a wet to dry formula, perhaps. Let's see how these shimmers perform. Oh, picking up good. Always good to see. I'm just going to kind of place it on the sides, just kind of like that. I know I went over a bit, but that's okay. And then I kind of want to take this, because this has that darker shade, and just kind of make sure it kind of blends in a bit. Just like that. And then I'm going to take another fluffy and hit her with some setting spray. And then there is like a lot of golds, a lot of gold greens. So kind of whatever you want to play with. Seeing as I got the yellow on top, I think I need definitely a more gold. Like, and I'm not kidding. There is like a lot of gold in this palette. But I'm really like... I think I'm going to go with the shade Scent. It does look like it has a bit of a almost greenish reflect to it. So I'm kind of hoping, yeah, I can kind of mix it over a bit. Oh, that's quite nice. Quite nice. And then you can just kind of put it over the other green. But that way that center really pops, that greeny gold. Not exactly what I was planning when I first laid down some stuff, but not bad. I find this palette quite like diverse for colors too, right? Like you have your greens and your yellows, your golds, but you also have like some pinky reds. You got some beautiful browns. There's some orange, and then there's like 3 different pops of blue. She's quite a versatile palette, which is always nice. Okay, my lovelies, I'm just going to pop off camera and do my foundation, probably my eyebrows, and I will be right back when we're going to finish up this eye look. Okay, honeys, here we go. And here's what we got going on so far. For primer today, we are using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. For concealer today, we are using Jeffree Star Cosmetics Magic Star Concealer in the shade C4. For foundation today, we are using the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation in the color 20CP. For powder today, we are using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Magic Star Setting Powder in the shade Rose. And for eyebrows today, we're having our e.l.f. day with our lock-on liner and brow cream in medium brown and our Wow Brow Gel in medium brown as well. For mascara today, we are using Milk Makeup Kush Mascara in the waterproof formula in the shade Black. I'm sure it has a different name, but I can't seem to find it anywhere, so Black! And the lashes I have on today are the Kiss brand Pompadour style, and they didn't really want to stay, but they're staying. So let's finish off the eye look. So back into our Artemis palette. What I am thinking I'm going to do is I want to take a bit of that dark green shade, that stealth shade, and just kind of stamp it along the bottom eye. And I'm just going to actually take a nice flat edge brush for this because I just want to stamp it. I don't want it too much. I'm hoping this works. And then I'm just going to do the outer and the inner with this. Actually, I think I'm going to grab my star mirror because I think that might work better for this. So. Okay, just kind of like that. Yeah, this brush works much better than just a smudger brush because I want it a little more precise. Almost more like an eyeliner per se. I wonder if you could use this kind of as an eyeliner because it does. It feels different than regular eyeshadows. So I'm going to have to look this up because, yeah, it definitely feels different. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to take a black eyeliner. I just got my e.l.f. black one for my waterline, and we're just going to pop that in the waterline. Just like that. And then I'm going to take that green again and just make sure I smudge it kind of up close so it doesn't look quite so harsh. I hope you guys can see okay. I know I usually use a mirror in front of me, but this one, because I want it so precise, I didn't want to mess that up. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my smudger brush and I'm actually going to hit it with some setting spray because I really want this to kind of stick out. And then I'm going to hit that scent shade, that shade that we have in the center. And I am going to pop that on our bottom waterline in that center that we left empty. Okay. Just like that. I really like how that kind of looks. Just kind of mirrors kind of what's on the top there. And just to make it that tiny bit extra, I'm going to use our LA Splash Luminous liner in the gold shade just to kind of follow that arch line, just to kind of make it stand out even more. And we used this when we used our Tribe box. And I was like, I don't know if it really goes with this look. But I think it will this one. And I'm not doing the whole area. I just want to highlight that where the gold is. And go over a bit, but really that's all I'm kind of wanting to do is highlight where that gold is. Well, this does take a bit to dry, so that looks stunning, I think. Just that little pop of that gold liner just makes it stand out just a touch more. So normally for my inner corner highlight, I usually use the lightest shade in the palette, which would be this obscure here. But she almost looks like a peachy shade. So I'm not exactly sure how well this is going to look. But we're going to... I don't really have anything else I can use. I have golds, but I don't really want a gold. I think it'll take it away. So we're going to try this obscure. It almost looks like a peachy gold, so it might work okay. I'm just using a smudger brush. Okay, that's not too bad. I would have really preferred like a super pale gold. I think that would have looked really sharp. But this doesn't look too bad. And I am going to use it to highlight the brow just a touch. Okay, so that is our finished eye look featuring the Artemis palette. So I'm just going to quickly finish up with some lippy and some blush and some highlight. And I'll be right back to give you my final thoughts on all this. And here is our finished look. I'm kind of feeling like a bit of an earthy goddess today. Not that I'm complaining, but I'm totally feeling it. So to finish off our look today, I am actually using our My Melody and Cremoni Wet n Wild blush lighter palette, and we are using the two top shades. So Call Me Nice and Honey Bunny. And actually Honey Bunny is a really nice like highlight, and the blush is pretty good. It's a little dark, but I find almost all blushes are really dark when you're super pale. So it's just all about the light hand with these. And then for the lipstick today, we are trying out another Alter Ego liquid lipstick. And this is the shade called Intrigue. She's a nice brown shade. Now, normally I don't like a brown lipstick, but this one actually works with this look really well. It's definitely not something I will gravitate towards, but I also don't have a shade like this in my collection because I don't really like browns. So it is good to have. Okay, so the Artemis palette from Alter Ego. I'm a little confused about some of the shades. And the formula of said shades, the greens here, like you can just see, I don't know if it's translating on camera, but you can see they have like a bit of a different texture to them. And they are a little hard to work with, but when you get them on, they look really great. Using my round fluffy brush kind of to buff them out was not working. It was not working. But when I took a flat brush and kind of laid it on and then took the fluffy brush and buffed it out, that worked. So I'm going to have to look into more of it. And if you guys know anything about the formula, and if it is a different formula, can you put it down? I feel kind of like a noob right now, but I have no idea. But I think we really turned out a really nice look. The glitters in these palettes so far have been like stellar. I really enjoy it. This scent shade that we have in the middle and on the bottom as well, I really love it. It's like gold, but it's got a bit of that green reflect in it. And I'm all about those types of shades. As always, Darklings, you know where to find me. I am on Facebook and Instagram under Lady Mylita. And on Sundays at 5:30 Eastern, I go live on Facebook and I do my makeup with you guys, and I always really enjoy it. I enjoy chatting with you guys. You guys ask questions, I try and answer them, and maybe I'll do a get ready with me question and answer period. If that's something you would like, let me know. I'd be down to do that. Though I'm kind of a boring person. As always, my darklings, stay safe and be kind to one another. It's a crazy world these days, but we're still here. We're still kicking. Goodbye, my darklings.